Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to design uh the homepage of the website. Now this is it. If this is something you would like to learn, watch and learn, please stay tuned to the very end. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section. Now let's get right into it. For this project, we already have resources here on our screen. So, because I don't want the video to be very long, I went ahead to source for resources. So you can see we already have some text, we have colors, images, and everything we need for the project. We have icons, logos, and all that. These are typography. So this is a mini project. We're working on the home screen of this website. Now, without wasting much time, let's start. We're going to start by bringing in our frame. So I'll hit F on the keyboard and come over here to pick a desktop frame. So I'll move it over to this place. Now I'll name this home and I'll add grid to this column. All right, 1224. All right. Now I'll quickly duplicate this, Alt and drag. So this will be our hero section. So I'll rename this to hero section. All right. So once we're done with any section, we'll just bring it into the home screen. So I'll quickly close the column. All right. So let's assume the name of this website is Zizi. Okay. All right. So I'll hit T on my keyboard and I'll go ahead to type Z Z. I'll come over here and I'll pick. All right. So because I didn't the typography scale we're using is actually a small one. So because this website, we're not using so many font sizes. It's just like four or three that we need. So let me just quickly duplicate this so you can see, get the information. Alt and drag. If I detach this, you're seeing the font face, the weights, the size and everything. Same with this detach. You see, I'll go ahead to detach this too. This medium 24, Euclid circular A. So you can just pause the video and get the information you need. So there was no typography for this icon. So I'll quickly detach this and increase the size. So let's try this. All right, bold. The color would use our brand color, which is purple. Now I have two sets of color palettes. I'm thinking we could use this or this. I'm not really sure. So maybe as we design, we can go ahead to, change some things and all that. So let's start by using this. So I'll bring this into the frame. Now I'll go ahead to type our text. Home. So I will change this to this size 16 and I'll add auto layout, shift A. Now it has an auto layout. I'll go ahead to duplicate it in four more places. So Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D. Now this second one is going to be services. This should be, let's say, about. The next one could be portfolio. And this last one should be contact. Now, this is an advertising agency website, okay? So the home would display information, basic information that a visitor has to see to be informed and be convinced to work with this brand. Now, services, if they want to go further, they go to the service page to see what services this brand offers. About section is for them to get more in-depth information on what or who they are, about the company and all that. Then portfolio would showcase their previous work, what they've done and all that. This is to convince people more. And contact is for you to go ahead to contact them. So we're going to have a call to action. So I'll go ahead to duplicate this again. And this could be start projects. Okay. All right. So let's work on this button. We'll give this padding of, let's say, 32, and over here 16. All right. We'll give it a fill. Now the fill color would be the brand color, which is this. We'll go ahead to round the corner. Just add, yeah. I don't want the edges to be too sharp, so I added corner radius of 8. Now the button size is okay. You can actually make your button size 54 if you want. 54 is okay, 56 is okay. It depends on what you're working on. So let me just keep it at 54. Now, the next thing we want to do is to group this with auto layout. Now, all these are inside an auto layout frame. So we'll increase the spacing to like 32. Now we bring it into this frame. Okay, we can't see it now. So I'll quickly change the color to this, the text color. And this other color here, over here, is for the body text. So I'll bring this into the frame. I'll select this and center align it. Okay. All right. Now I'll just select the two and give it an auto layout. Then I'll select the logo. So this is like our logo. Center align them and add an auto layout. Okay. Next thing we want to do is to add paddings to this auto layout frame. So 100. Let's center align it. Okay. Then we could give it a vertical padding of, let's say, 32. Oh, 32 is big. Let's say 24. Okay. So let's take it to the top. Now let's close the columns. All right. Now, whenever you're working on a project, try to preview it from this. You present it to make sure that what you're actually working on is making sense. So now this is what we have, and it's looking neat, it's looking okay. So let's keep going. Now, for this home, I want to quickly detach this. Now, I've made a video on how to create your text styles. Okay, so you don't have to keep detaching whenever you're designing and detaching. So, but because I want this to be very short, I didn't go through the process of creating a large typography scale. So that is why I'm detaching this. But if you want to learn how to do it, to create your textile in such a way that you don't have to detach anything while designing, you can go and check out the video. I have it on my page. So this, I'm going to change it to semi bold because this is the current page, this is the home page that we're working on. So this is like an indicator that this is the current page. Now you can actually do this in some other ways. You can add a color, a different color to this home, or you can underline it or just add something to make it different to indicate that it's the home screen. So what I'm trying to say, just add an indicator. So let's just leave it with this semi bold. Now, the next thing I want to do is to bring out this button. So Alt on my keyboard, then I'll click and drag to bring this out. Now, I want to create components for this button so that we have consistent buttons in our design. So I'll quickly make this a component, then come over here to add a variant. Now this, I will remove the fill, give it a stroke, change the color of the stroke to this color, maybe increase the stroke a bit or give it 1.5. Then I'll change the color of the text to this color. All right. So this will be our primary button and this will be our secondary button. Now I want to increase this. Let's name this. So come over here, primary. Oh, sorry. So primary, secondary. All right. So primary, secondary. Oh, I clicked on it again. All right. So let's quickly add something else to this. Now we want when the mouse hovers on this button, the color should change. Okay. So we'll quickly come here, click on our color picker and change the button color. Okay, I think we should use the other color. I think this is better. Okay. So same thing with this. So we just change the color. And the next thing we want to do is to prototype it. So when the mouse hovers on this button, it should change to variant 3, which is this. And it should be instant. Same goes with this. While hovering, change to variant 4. Okay. Now, why did we do this? Let me duplicate this. Let me bring it out. Now, the reason why we did this is so that we can easily change our buttons and still maintain that consistency. Now, if you come over to this property panel and you click on this arrow here, you can easily change this button to secondary and you can change it to variant 3 or variant 4 and change it back to primary. So that is why this is important. I've also created a video on how to create your button library. You can go check it out if you haven't. So what we want to do is we'll pick this button and replace it with this. So Command X to cut, paste to replace. Now let's check our button if it's working. All right, you see. So let's continue. Now, the next thing we want to do is to start working on the hero section. Of course, we've worked on this. Now we want to start adding text and images to the hero section. So let's start typing. Now hit T on the keyboard to start typing the text. Turn ideas into iconic brands with Z advertising agency. So I'll go ahead to change the font and the text. This is our header text. I'll go ahead to change the color to our primary color. Now we'll bring it into our frame. All right. So let me turn on the columns. All right. Now we have this where we want it. So I'll quickly duplicate this, Alt and drag. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want the text divided. So this will be the first layer. I'll delete this. So this can actually be an S or a Z. So whichever one, let me leave it as S. So I'll delete this. I'll go ahead to delete this. Yeah. Now let me add auto layout to this and give this a spacing of, let's say, 16. All right, not looking bad. Now I want to change the color of this. I'll use the color picker. Let me change it to this. Let's change this to, all right. So let's see what we have. Let's check it here. All right. So what do you think about the color? Let me check the other color palette we have. So let me quickly highlight this. Let's change it to like orange. Yeah, it looks good. I knew orange would look good for this. So guys, what do you think? So if you're practicing, you can actually decide on the color you want to use. But I think let me just go back and stick with pink. All right. Okay. So we'll stick with this for now. We could make changes later though. So the next thing we want to do is to add our image. Now we'll click F on the keyboard and draw a frame. This frame will change the corner radius to 8. Now let's pick this image for it. Now, before that, I don't like my frame completely white most times, not all the time, most of the time. So I just bring it down to maybe FE, 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 or FD, FD, FD. So whichever one works for you. Now, if you bring this into this frame, I bet you can see it. All right. Let me quickly reduce this. All right. So there we have it. Now let's bring in this image. So I'll copy it, come over here and paste. I'll center align it. Okay. We'll press key on the keyboard to scale this image to the size of the frame. All right. So we're getting there. Let's see what we have. Okay. Let's increase the frame. I'll click on this and increase this frame. So we can bring it down a bit. Then increase it. All right. So I'll just bring it. Okay. No, take it down a bit. Let's see what we have. All right. Now let's work on this a little bit. Okay. Now we could make changes as we go on. Okay. This is not like the final thing. We can make changes to some things, but let's just keep going. So the next thing, we want to have our subtext here. I think we have it here. Copy. So you can see this text is DN Sans. So we'll quickly change it. So pick this. All right. Then, yeah, it looks good. We'll change the color. Let's change the color to the color of this. Okay. Okay. Now for these images, they are already on auto layout. We'll copy it. Come over here, paste. Now I want them to be stacked on each other. They are already on auto layout. Now what we can do is to come over here and you see canvas stacking. You see first on top or last on top. So which one do you prefer? I think I'll pick the first on top. So we'll leave it at first on top. Now we'll come over to this space in between and decrease it to the minus sign. Yeah, I think this is okay. Now the stroke around the image, we want to change the color to our brand color. Yeah. Now, okay, let's take this to the top and add an auto layout to this. Okay, we're getting there. Let's see what we have. Okay, what do you think, guys? You can leave it in the comment section. So I'll pick this. Mm, let's make this, let's give it 100. All right, and we'll add auto layout to it too. All right. Or before we add the auto layout, let's add our button because this should have a call to action. So I'll quickly click on this and come over here to remove auto layouts on group. Now it has ungrouped. So let's quickly add our button. So I can just come here to copy this. All right, so we're going to have like two call to action here. This could be contact us because that's the aim. We want them to contact us. Contact us. All right. So For our button, I think the text inside is light or regular. Let's detach and see. Okay, it's regular, but we want this to be bold. So, like I said before, you can go check out how to set up your typography so you don't have to keep detaching. So I'll leave this at bold. I'll do the same for every other button. Bold. All right. Bold. Oops, I didn't change the color of this. Okay. So the text color should be this color as well. Yeah. All right. Now you can see that our button text has automatically changed to bold. Yeah. That's why it's important to have your button component. So once you just make change to the mother component, it automatically reflects on all the children. Okay. So let's duplicate this, alt and drag. So we can have something like portfolio. We want them to see our portfolio and know what we can do. Portfolio. So we'll click on this, come over to this section, this property panel, and change it to secondary button. It's that easy. So we'll select the two buttons, give them spacing of, let's say, 16. Oh, sorry, come and see what happened. Click on this, click on this. Sorry, we'll come over here and give it spacing of 16. Okay, now we'll add auto layout to it and we'll select the text and these images that we have. We'll give them spacing of, let's say, 48. Let's check 48. No, let's go for 32. All right, this looks better. So we'll add auto layout to it. All right, so we'll select this and we'll add an auto layout to it too. Okay, so let's see what we have. All right, everything is coming together. I want us to add a little animation to this. So what we'll do is to bring this out, alt and drag, command D to duplicate, then highlight the two frames, come over here, create component set, come over to the prototype section, click on this, drag to this screen. Now it's going to be an after delay, 800 milliseconds, smart animate. Yeah, is out. Let's see what we have. So quickly copy this, come over here, paste to replace. So let's see what we have. All right, so it happened so quick. So we'll come over here again and work on it. So we'll change this to 1500. Yeah, let's see what we have now. All right, so we want to continue. The next thing we have to do here is let's take this up, copy this, and paste it here. Command V. Let's come over to the design section, center align, make sure it's at the top. Okay, so quickly close the columns we have. All right. Now, the next thing we want to do is to go to the next section. Now, what we'll do is to rename this to our clients. Sorry. All right. So now we remove all this. We don't need them. Okay. The next thing we want to do now is click T on the keyboard for text, and we can type trusted by 1000 companies across the world or around the world. Yeah, I think this text is good. So we'll quickly change the text color to the brand color, and we'll bring it into the frame. Now let's change the size. We'll come over here, change it to 40, center align it. Here, the y axis, I made it 80, so it's center aligned. Now we want to add the company logo. So it's like proof. So this is like social proof. These are companies we've worked with. We're trustworthy, we can be trusted. So we'll copy this, come over here and paste it. Now I think one of these icons have black. I don't like seeing black, totally black objects in my frame. So I'll change this to 2222. Okay. Okay. Now would increase the size of this. So I'll hit K on my keyboard and oops and increase the size. Let me move it from here. All right. Now this has been grouped but no auto layout. So I'll add auto layout to it. Now this is grouped actually. So I just ungrouped it. So tidy up. Space in between is 122. I'll make sure they are center aligned. Reduce this to, yeah, 120, then add auto layout. Now they are all in an auto layout. So space between these two, let's do 56. All right. Now we can have another test here. Alt and drag. Let's reduce the size to 16. Or is 16 too small? So we help we help clients accomplish amazing things always. All right, let's get our text from here. All right, this is good. I mean, that's why I dropped it, right? So I just keep forgetting. All right, Command V. I'll drag it down and center align it. So I'll change this to 16. Let me center align it. Okay. Space in between this. Let's make it 56 as well. Let's close this up a bit. Yeah, that's good. Now I want us to add an animation to this before we add the auto layout. So we'll bring this alt and drag. Now this is in an auto layout frame, right? So let's name it an auto layout because we're going to add another frame to these logos. So this will be auto layout frame. Okay, let's leave it at auto layout. Now what I'll do now is I'll click on it, right click and click on frame selection. Now if you look over here, this is the frame. If you collapse this, you see the auto layout frame. Now we'll click on this auto layout frame and click on Command D to duplicate. Now we have two auto layout frames inside this frame. So this is the frame 37875. And these are the two auto layouts inside the two auto layout frames inside. Now they are on top of each other. So I'll just quickly use my arrow key to move this to the right. Now I can see the two. One is already clicked on. So I'll hold shift on my keyboard and select the other one. And you'll see it will be highlighted here that this one too has been selected. So I'll just click on shift and select. Now the two auto layout frames have been selected. I'll come over to this layout and give them a spacing of, let's say, 24. Now what's the spacing for this? The spacing in between the logos inside this auto layout is 120. So the spacing in between the auto layouts, so I'll select the other auto layout. I want it to be 120. I want it to be 120 as well. So 120. Yeah. Now the next thing I want to do is, I hope you can see my screen. So let me quickly. All right. So the next thing I want to do is, I clicked on this frame, the frame with number. Then I'll come over here and click clip content. Now you can see the other auto layout, but that doesn't mean it's not there. If you come over here, you can see it. It's still inside the frame, but it's like behind the scene because it has clipped where you want it to see. Okay. Now if I drag this frame, you'll see the auto layout, but we don't want it. We want it at this width size. So the next thing we want to do is to duplicate this. So alt and drag to duplicate. Then I'll select the two, come over here, create component set. Now we want to head over to the prototype section, select this, connect it to this, and it's going to be an, sorry, after delay of 1 millisecond, smart animate, linear, let's put it 2000. All right. So what we want to do now is, we're selecting on the frame with the number, right? This is it here. What we want to do now is, I would select the two auto layouts. So don't be confused, okay? Now there are so many frames here. Don't be confused. You click on this frame, okay? You select this and select this. Don't be confused. So the ones you're selecting, they are the ones inside this frame. Now, holding shift on the keyboard, I will drag it. So what am I trying to achieve? I want this medium to be the first icon to appear here, just as it is here. So I'll hold shift and keep dragging. The reason I'm holding shift is so it doesn't leave the frame. All right. In order to be sure if they are at the same, they are starting from the same place, you can just use this ruler and you see they are at the same place. So I'll just delete the ruler. Now, what we want to do is to now click on this frame, connect it back to this, and it's going to be an after delay is going to be 1 millisecond, and when you come here it's going to be instant. So when this finish scrolling to the end, it should automatically move to this second frame 1 millisecond. So it's just a millisecond. It will change immediately and it's going to be instant. You don't have to animate it. So let's check what we have. Come over to the design panel. Now click on this, copy, come here, paste to replace. Let's quickly copy this, copy and bring it into our frame. Command V. All right. Center align. All right. I'll drag it down. Make sure there is no space in between these two. Zero, yeah. Then I'll click on this, close the column. Let's see what we have. All right, let's see what we have. Oops, so it's moving very fast. This is not what we want. Let's come back to this, move to the prototype section, click on this. So let's figure out what the problem is. All right, let's make this 10,000. Smart animate linear. Let's be sure of this second one. 1 millisecond instant. Okay, let's check it out now. All right, now this is what we're trying to achieve, right? Yeah. So let's go back. Now I noticed this text. Let's move back to the design panel, the property panel here. So we use the color picker to give it a body text color. Okay. So now it's a bit lighter. We don't want it as dark as this. Now let's go ahead to add auto layout to this. So let me add a frame to this frame selection, then auto layout. All right, everything is working just fine. So I just noticed the white space here is too much, a bit too much. So I'll just drag this up a bit. Yeah, we can make it 940. Then bring this up. Make sure it's center aligned. All right. So assuming this background was like a different color, then it would have been different. But since it's white background, leaving that much space is just kind of abusing it, I think. So this way is better. We can actually, let me see, let's try giving this uh, a white background. Hmm, guys, what do you think? What do you think? Let's just leave it at white. So this is FD, FD. So we'll make this FD too. All right. Now we'll quickly move to the next section. This next section is who we are. So we want to introduce the company to the visitors. So let's quickly drop this here. Now we'll make this wide again, maybe 900. Then remove this, we don't need it. We can leave this body text and this. So this text will change to who we are. All right. So let me see. Yeah, this is bold. Okay. So we'll center align this. And for the body text, we'll quickly get it from here. So, all right, let's quickly get this text. Copy. All right. Sorry. Sorry, what just happened? Okay. Command C. All right, we'll change this text to align left. So we'll change the color to the body color. Let's see what we have. Okay. So this will just come to the side. All right. All right. So I'll duplicate this, alt and drag, delete this. I want the text to be divided into two sections. So these two space in between, let's say 8. Okay. I'll add auto layout. Grab this 16. Let's see. All right. It looks good. Now, let's add a little design to this text. So we're going to bring out our rectangle, hold shift. So we'll make this, let's say 20. I want it very small. Make this the width 8. Give it, oh no, it's, oh, okay. You have to turn this off. So I'll make the height 20, make the width 8, corner radius 999. I want it very round. Okay. So let's change the color of this to the brand color, then bring it into the frame. All right. Okay, so Command D, Command D. All right, so we could turn this around. All right, I'll take this up. All right, select the tree and Command G to group. Let's see. All right, let's see what we have. I think it's too big. So I'll quickly reduce the height to 16, width to, okay, 4. All right, then, all right. So hold shift, select these two and group. Now we'll select this text and add auto layout. So we'll quickly bring in an image. So we'll hit F on the keyboard, hold shift and draw a frame. Give it a corner radius of 8. Bring it into the frame. What's the frame size for this? All right, 608, 524. Let's do 524. 524. That's the height. Then 604, right? Okay, 608, 524. So 608. Let's see. Okay. Oh, turn this off. So 524, right? Let me check to be sure. All right. So now we're going to reduce the width. It doesn't have to exactly be the size of the other image. So we can reduce it to this length, to this width. Let's add a stroke so we can actually see what we're doing. Okay. Now, what's the space in between these two? 50. Okay. Let's reduce this. All right. Okay. We could increase this more. This is fine. So now we're going to add a kind of a design to this. Now that we have the width and height we want to use, which is 552 and 524, we'll come over here, bring a rectangle in. 552, 524, corner radius of 8. Now what we're trying to do, we can't achieve it with a frame. That's why we're going with a rectangle. So we're going to bring the image we want to work with. Let's use this image. So I'll copy this, paste it here. All right. So we're going to scale this image up. Yeah, I hit K on my keyboard and scaled it up. Let me bring it to the front. So right click and bring to front. Let's see what we're doing. So I want to max this image with the rectangle. Now, before doing that, we want to give this rectangle a shape, a unique shape. So let's see if we could decrease this, remove the scale, and let's see if we can decrease this. 16. Okay, let's leave it. I just increased the space in between to 16. Now for the rectangle, the shape we're going to give it, I'm hitting, I'm double clicking on the rectangle and I want to give it a unique shape. All right. All right. We'll come over here. Okay, come over here. Stop somewhere, maybe here. Drag another one inside. Bring this forward. Just trying to create a design. All right. Now we're going to use the bend tool to bend this design. All right. Now double click on the rectangle. I want to bring this forward. Okay. There are better ways of achieving this anyways, but this is what just comes to my mind right now. So we're working with this. Now the same with this double click. Okay. So I'll quickly bring this way. All right. This is already curved. So let's rework on this section. Double click on the rectangle. All right, you can just feel free to play around with this. All right. So what next? We're going to bring another rectangle. Yeah. So make sure it's on the same level with this. Then drag it down. Give it a corner radius of 8. Or we can give it like 16. Let's see. Or 12. So alt and drag. Drop this here. All right, before we continue, let me bring this out. Let's mask the image. Use as max. All right. So we'll just copy it, paste to replace. All right. Now we'll go ahead and add colors to this rectangle before grouping. So we can give this light color. We can give this the brand color. Okay. We can actually extend this here. Add the frame F. Okay. Make sure it's the same. Make sure it's the same length with this. We can use the ruler here. All right. Delete. Now give it a corner radius of, I think this has 12. Give it 12. Okay. Take it up a bit. We can actually reduce this and reduce this. So take your time and do whatever works for you, whatever design you want to add, you can add. This is just so you can understand how things work around. Let's bring in this image and paste it into this frame. So we use the scale to scale it up. All right. Now we can quickly copy all this, close the scale, and Command G to group them up. Okay. So how about we use it for this section? So we'll copy this, paste to replace. All right. So it's not looking bad. All right. We'll keep the Y position to 70. All right. Let's drag up this frame. Okay. Now we have our text and we have our image. So we can add a button here too. So we can quickly come over here, copy, Command V to paste, bring it over here. We can change the text inside to about ZZ. Okay. Now let's add auto layout to this. Let's make this 56, 48. I think 48 is okay. We'll check it out though. So we'll copy this, Command V. So you bring it down. Make sure it's center aligned. So you come to positioning, center align it. Then hold shift and hold this to make sure there is no space in between them. So it's 0, which is okay. Now let's close this rows, this column. All right. Now this is what we have so far. Let's check it out. Let's preview it and see what we have. All right. It's slowly coming together. So you can actually scale this image down if you want, but I think we'll leave it this way for now. Maybe we can come back to it later. So for the next section, we're going to animate the next section. So let me delete this and take this up. Let's dump it here. Now we don't need this for the next section. We don't need this for the next section. So let's showcase some projects that we have. Let's just showcase some images because this is an advertising agency. So probably they've advertised for various brands and various industries. It could be skincare, it could be design, it could be anything, anything at all. So it could be fintech, anything. So let's rename this to showcase or works. All right. We'll go ahead to reduce this frame. We can give it 400 for now. Okay. So let's quickly bring in these images. Alt and drag. They are in auto layout. So all right, for this section, let's give it a little bit of a little design to make it pop more. So I'll click F on my keyboard and draw a frame, a small frame. Let's give it height of 10 and width of 12. No, that's too small. 24. Okay, not bad. Let's make this 12. Okay. Let's increase this to like 26. All right. Now, Command D to duplicate. Space in between. Let's give it 8. Let's give it 24 and see. Let's make it 16. All right. So I'll add an auto layout to this. Now I'll keep duplicating. That's what I'll do now. Command D, Command D, Command D. I want it to be very long as the width of the frame. So I'll select this and keep duplicating. All right, I increased it more. All right. Now I'm quickly going to duplicate it. Command D or Alt to drag. Now these images, I'm going to click on horizontal layouts. So everything would just be aligned. All right. So let me drag it into this frame and see. I'll quickly drag this. Command Z, sorry. Okay, there's something wrong with this auto layout. Command Z. Let me just, I don't want to think too much right now. So I've removed the auto layout and ungroup. All right, now I'll select all the images again and I'll quickly add an auto layout to it. Okay, now I'll name this auto layout. All right, now let me make this. Okay, let me leave it for now. So I'm going to draw a frame, F on my keyboard. What's the height of this? 160. This 12, 12. So 160 plus 24 is like 184, right? Let's do this. Let's give this 186 as the height. Okay. Let me duplicate this. Alt and drag. We're going to use this for the prototype. So let me bring this here. Let me select the three frames. Okay, this is in the way. I'll select this, hold shift, select this, select this. Make sure they are aligned left. Then space in between 0. Or let me give it 1. Let's see. Or rather 2. Okay. Let me add auto layout for now. Let me click on this. Command D. Okay. Command D. All right, we're getting there. Now we'll make this the same size as the frame we have here. And we'll change the color of the frame to the brand color or maybe black, but let's see. Let's bring this into here. All right, so let's bring this into the frame. Let's close this, the eye. Let's close this. Okay, I don't like the purple showing behind. And I'm going to increase the size of the frame. So let's click on the frame, increase the height 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then let's pick the object inside and make sure it's center aligned still. Okay. Let me see if I increase the frame a little more. Okay. And everything is still center aligned. All right. Now I don't like the color I'm seeing behind. So let's just make it black. So select the frame. Let's make it black. Let me see. All right, let's work with this for now. All right, how about we slant this? Okay. What do you guys think? All right, let's keep it slanted. Now we have to use our scale tool to scale it up a bit. Center line. All right. So there we have it. So let's duplicate this and just keep it out here. Now to work on the prototype, the same thing we did with this section, that's the same thing we're going to do for this. We want it to just keep animating. So let's quickly do that. Now, that's why I named this auto layouts. Now let me close this scale too. Let's right click and add a frame to this. So frame selection. Now, when you click on this frame, you see it here, right? And you see the auto layout inside. So I'll click on the auto layout and click on Command D to duplicate. Now we have two auto layouts on top of each other. Now we'll click on one and use the arrow key on the keyboard to quickly drag the other one away from the one under so we can see the one under. Now I would select the second one by holding shift and clicking on it. Now we're going to give it space in between 16. All right. So this is the first one and this is the second one. They are all inside this frame. So the content will just clip content of this frame. Yeah. Now we'll duplicate Alt and drag, select the two, come over to this section, create component set, go to the prototype section, click on it, drag this. So it's going to be after delay 1 millisecond, smart animate linear. Now for this section, we're going to click on it. So we'll click on the frame, select the two auto layout frames. So these are the two selected, the two inside here. I'll hold shift, then drag because I don't want it to leave the frame. So we want this first image to be the same here as well. So hold shift and drag. Okay, if you're not sure, you can use your ruler. If you're not sure, you can use your ruler to check. All right. Now we'll click on this and take it back to this. So it's going to be after delay 1 millisecond. This time around, it will be instant. Now, what we want to do is go back to the design, copy this. Let's see. Paste to replace. Okay, I knew it was going to do this. So that was why I duplicated it. Okay. So Command Z. So what I want to do now is the angle of the frame is 8.58. That's the ratio of the frame. So 8.58. So what we'll do is I'll just come over here, take it back to 0. So it will be on a straight line, right? Then click on it, paste to replace. That's this image I got from here, right? So don't forget this is 8.58. This has the animation, right? So we'll quickly copy it, paste to replace. Come over here, 5.85, right? Sure. Yeah, that's what we have. Was it? Let me go back. Command Z, Command Z. Okay, 8.58. All right. So let's copy this again. Paste to replace. 858. Yeah, I got it right this time. Okay. So there we have it. Now let's copy this. Yeah. Make sure it's in the frame. I'll center align it. Check space in between these two and it's 0, which is perfectly okay. So let's check what we have. Let me reload. All right. All right. This is perfect. All right. So I think I'm going to stop here for this video and continue. I don't want the video to be so long that you get exhausted watching it, okay? So what will happen is this is going to be like a part 1. Then in the next video is going to be the part 2 where we're going to finish up this homepage. And then Based on the comments you leave in the comment section, we might as well finish up the services page, about portfolio, contacts, and everything. Link it up, do the prototype so you know how to design like a complete website, like their pages. So that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments in the comment section. If you want me to make any video for you, you let me know. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, okay? See you in the next video.